Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm E.G. Stone, and this is a Wednesday Reads book review. So this week I read the AlinGuard book, which is first in the series of By the Hand of the Dragon by Alexzander Cristion. And so this is a fantasy adventure that is based around a character called a chimera who was created by a dragon in order to be sort of ruler of the world, as I understand it, which on the premise alone, that sounds fantastic. So what happens is this character, Shefa, he goes and is wandering around and ends up sort of touring his future kingdom and finds a king who is being, whose kingdom is being sort of besieged by prisoners who have taken over this prison in the frozen north called AlinGuard. So Shefa says, all right, I'll go take care of this problem for you, by the way, and it goes from there. So this story was very good. I liked it quite a lot. It was very humorous. The characters were quirky in ways that were entirely believable and completely fantastical. But there was enough seriousness to the story that you could take it seriously and treat it as a proper story. So the characters are sort of not what you would expect. The main character is super arrogant, but he also has reason to be because he's this really powerful, fantastical creature. But he's also sort of got this interesting, moral dilemma later on in the book, and he's not heartless or as arrogant. Like, his arrogance kind of covers that up. It's very interesting how the characters unfold throughout the story, because at first they seem sort of, oh well, this is going to be one thing and you expect this, and it sort of morphs into something completely different whilst retaining that initial characteristic, and I liked it quite a lot. So the characters were fascinating. I think the storyline was very much interesting. It's not sort of your average high fantasy. There is absolutely, the hero who goes on this adventure to sort of solve a problem, and he's fighting this evil battle. But he's kind of the problem as much as he is the solution, which is fun. But I'm awfully fond of things that are more problematic than they are useful, so that could just be me there. The chimera characters are doing this because it's kind of a fight against impossible odds, and they think that's super fun. And they're human companions who are going along to sort of help and maintain the king's ideals, I guess. They don't think this is fun at all, and that it causes some problems. Again, where the main character, Shefa, is more the problem than he is the solution. But it's also a different take on things, because most of the time in high fantasy, you see the heroes go in and they're kind of reluctant. I don't really want to do this, but I'm really good at it, so I'll do it because it helps people. And this is not that at all. This is, big giant monster coming my way. How can I turn this into as bloody a battle as possible? And that's very interesting. Another point that I liked quite a lot is that it starts off right in the middle of the action. We have literally no idea how Shefa got to where he is. We have no idea what happened beforehand, and there are allusions to events that happened beforehand that I really want to know about. But we don't know about this, and you have to figure things out as you're going along, which I like a lot more than stories that rely on huge amounts of exposition and background knowledge. I like being able to figure out what's going on as I'm going along, and if I can't figure it out, okay, then that's a problem. But not really, because there's more to read, there's more to learn, and I have a chance to experience that in whatever comes next. However, there is a lot that I don't understand in this story. I think that there are bits that happened earlier on in whatever story saga happened to the main characters beforehand that I'm kind of missing, and I'd like to know a little bit more than I do, but I feel like I can also figure that out from the next book and other subsequent books. So that is one thing, is not everything is explained as well as it perhaps could be, and there were some things that were a bit mysterious. Like the final battle that Shefa has, I was a little bit confused there, because there were things alluded to that I didn't quite understand and weren't explained. However, I liked it. I still did. I liked that, having that intrigue and that bit of mystery there. This story is a bit violent at parts. There is definitely not holding back on that aspect, but it also feels like it fits with the over-the-top nature of the characters and the situation in which they find themselves. And so I feel like that's actually okay. It's written in such a way that it's not, I don't feel like I'm being overwhelmed by it. So take note that it is there, it's present, and it's sort of on a massive scale, but it's also not overwhelming in a way that could be considered disgusting or horrific. So that's one critique that I've got. On the whole, though, I really liked the story. I think the writing is very well done, and I think the characters are fascinating, and I really, really do want to know more about them. Before reading this book, I did an author interview with Alexzander Cristion, which I will link in the description below, so I sort of knew kind of the premise of what was going on, but I also feel like that there's so much more there, and I was told that the second book, which I'm going to go read shortly, is prior to the events of the first book, but with the same characters. So if you want to know more about these characters after you read this book, go check out the second book. I will let you know how that is. So on the whole, I really liked this book. I highly recommend it. I think it's a good fun and a very interesting take on sort of stereotypical high fantasy, but it's not stereotypical at all. It messes with that. It's wonderful. So if you're interested in reading more about this book, or you want to go and find more, all of the links to Alexzander's site, social media, and everything will be in the description below, as well as the link to the author interview that I did with him, which was huge amounts of fun. And if you are interested in having your book reviewed by me, please let me know. You can reach me at all of my social media, again, linked in the description. And so I hope you enjoyed this week's Wednesday reads, and that's all I've got for you today, but I will see you next time. Bye.